Okay guys, and welcome to another RD Lifts education video. Today we're going to be talking about time management. Now, time management when it comes to achieving your goals, whether that be in bodybuilding, just losing fat, it does require lifestyle interventions, right? You can't you can't just try and go to the gym, try and get your meals in, try and do all these other things within your lifestyle that are going to attribute to the results that you get. So that's why I'm a huge fan of managing your time a wee bit more closely, right? So whether you're a bodybuilder like myself, or you're not really that committed to the gym, you still need to have a basic structure, and you still need to have an understanding of when you're going to do certain things, so that the rest of your lifestyle doesn't suffer, right? I'm really big into maintaining, a quality life. I don't think that everyone should be super dedicated and remove any kind of commitments that we've got within our lifestyle, whether that be with our partners, whether that be with our friends, social life, all that type of thing. So this is where time management really does come in handy, because it gives you the freedom to actually organise your life and make sure that we're still hitting the non-negotiables with what it is you need to do, whether that be training, nutritional based. You can still manage your lifestyle, right? And it just gives you that freedom. Okay, so as we can tell by the title, time management, how to optimise your time, to optimise your lifestyle while achieving your goals. Okay, so again, this is super important stuff here. So what do we need? Apps you need, Google Calendar. It's literally that simple, guys, right? So all we need is Google Calendar. You can preferably, you could get it on your phone. So what we're going to do today is we're just going to run through it. Okay, so now, I would recommend doing this. On a laptop, just because on a phone it's a wee bit finicky. So if you've got a laptop handy that you can just jump on Google Calendar with, that'll be ideal. Now, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to log in to your Google account. So create one if you don't have one, log in, and then download Google Calendar onto your phone. Right now, what that will do is that will actually give you updates. Right, so half an hour before you have an event or before you have a task that needs done, the Google Calendar app will send you a notification so that you know what you need to do, essentially, so you don't need to be constantly checking your calendar and stuff, right? So I've got some notes here on what it is we're going to actually be focusing on here, right? So let me just put my wee head up here. So time management, it starts off with the fundamentals, right? Okay, it starts off with the non-negotiables. What are the non-negotiables, right, within your lifestyle? Work hours, right? Training, steps, and general activity, eating and sleeping. Okay, so we're just going to take this really straightforward. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to set a standard wake up time. So let's say that's 7 a.m. So you're going to put in 7 a.m. Wake, morning routine. Okay, now what you can do is you can actually have this repeat. So you want to set it as an event rather than a task, just because tasks are managed on a day-by-day basis. So you want to set everything as events here. Okay, now you can have this repeat from 7 till, let's say, 7:15. So that gives you enough time to wake up, have your morning shower, have your coffee, have your breakfast, stuff like that. And then you can have that set for 15 minutes. You can have it set for as long as you want, right? If you've got a pretty extensive morning routine, let's say you wake up, go for a shower, go for a walk, morning coffee, all those type of things, you can stick that in here, right? And you can give yourself enough time allocated to that in order to reach that. Okay, so what you want to do is you can have that repeat daily. Okay, so repeat that daily, and then you can set that time, and then that will set for every day of the week for you. So we're not going to go through every single day. We're just going to block out the non-negotiables and things that you need to get done, right? So that's pretty much the first port of call here. You can set that as a wee color code, so we can set that as yellow, then we can have that save, and then what that will do is that will translate to every day, right? So Monday, Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, that'll be your morning routine. Now, of course, you can change that on the weekends, and we'll get to that pretty soon, right? So next up, what have we got, right? So we have working hours. So let's say you're working a standard 9 to 5. We know we're going to be in work until 9 to 5, so we can literally just block that off right in there, 9 to 5 p.m. And we can just set that as working hours. Perfect, and then we can set that pretty much, we can set that to Monday to Friday, right? If it's standard throughout the week, okay. So working hours, how often does that repeat? Obviously, it repeats from Monday to Friday. So let's do that just now. So if it's not there, you can set custom, and you can have that repeat on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Take the Sunday off, and then that'll be that. Save. And then we can see here that we've got our working hours pretty much lined up in here. Now, what have we got again here? So we've got eating times, right? So eating times, what time do I eat? Let's say you wake up and then you have meal one, right? Straight away. So you have meal one here. That can be your breakfast. That can be whatever. We can set like a half an hour time slot for that. So 7:15 to 8 o'clock. Perfect, right? That 8 o'clock hour gives you enough time to transmit to work. Perfect, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to edit that again so that it repeats. Monday to Friday. It does not repeat. Custom, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Perfect. Save that. So meal one's there. That's when you're going to have meal one pretty much every day. And then this hour here, you can dedicate that time to actually travelling to work, right? So commute. I'm not sure if that's how commute's spelt, so don't flame me in the comments or in the replies to this if it's wrong. So let's just give you about half an hour commute, right? I don't know how long your commute is, but this is where planning it out yourself is going to have the biggest impact, right? So 8:45 a.m. and then that does repeat Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Okay, so that's pretty much us got our morning done, right? So we know what we're doing in the morning. We're waking up at 7 a.m, we're having our meal one, and then we're commuting to work. Okay, and then obviously we're going to have our working hours in between here. Now, next up we've got eating times, right? So we've already put in eating times here. So let's say you have a break at 12 to 1. You can actually overlap events on Google Calendar, which is why I like it a lot, to be fair. So let's say you want to put in meal 2 here, and that is at 12 p.m. And let's say you've got until 1:30 p.m. as your lunch break, right? That's about standard, right? An hour and a half, I think, is about standard. And again, we can edit that. So we can edit that for every day, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Perfect, right? So that's us pretty much got our eating times. We've got our working hours. Oh, that's wrong there. Let me just line that up. Perfect. So that's us pretty much got our morning routine, what time we're eating at, our working hours, and then lastly we just need to put in things like when you're going to train, and obviously other things like let's say you're having your last meal. So let's say from this particular schedule, let's say you finish work at 5, you've got about an hour to get yourself set up and ready to go to the gym. Let's say you're going to the gym from 6 p.m. until 7:30 p.m, right? So an hour and a half of training. So this is where you're going to put in training. You can have that repeat, obviously, however many times you're training within the week. If you're only training like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you can put Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So that works out pretty well, right? And then obviously you can mark that as a different colour if you want. Perfect. So that will automatically translate to how many times you're training. Now, of course, that will be dictated by how many times I've given you a training split or how many times I've given you allocated training days. But you get the picture here, right? We're starting to create a pretty decent framework of what it is we need to do. And then let's say from 8 to 9 p.m, that's when you're going to have meal 3, or if you've already had a pre-workout meal, let's say that's meal 4. So let's put this as meal 4. We can put that from 8 until 8:30, 30 minutes daily, and let's have that Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Cool, perfect, right? So again, we're just creating. When you're doing this, guys, I just want you to think about creating your perfect week. So what does your perfect week on paper look like? Fill everything out on here, and then just try and stick to that as best you can, right? So let's have another meal in here at 3, for example. So let me just put one in here. Pre-workout. So that's going to be your pre-workout meal. And then we can have that set at 3 p.m. until, let's say, 3:30 p.m. So whenever you've got like another break in between work or whatever, you can add that in there. And then of course we can edit that again. So let's edit that for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Perfect. So that's pretty much the non-negotiable set out, right? We've got the times that we're eating, we've got the times that we're waking up, we've got our working hours in there, and then lastly, all we really need to do is set a standard bedtime. So let's say you go to bed every night at 11 o'clock. You can put 11 o'clock pre-bed routine, and you can repeat that again Monday to Friday. So custom. Perfect, right? Now get creative with this, right? If you want to have your bedtime at 10 p.m. and you want to do something else with that, like read a book or whatever, mark that stuff in there, right? Because that's all really, really, really important. So now all this extra free time that we've got here, so particularly from meal 4, we've got from 8, half 8 until 11 o'clock. That's when you can start implementing stuff like hobbies, right? So gaming, reading, chilling, you can do all that in there. Now with hobbies, I would honestly suggest a minimum of 8 hours per week. I think it's really, really, really important that we have at least 5 to 10 hours per week where we're not focusing on work, we're not focusing on training, we're de-stressing, we're relaxing. Obviously that can just help improve things like burnout and stuff over time. Just to make sure that you're still getting self-care time essentially, right? It's super, super, super important. So I want you to make sure that when you're setting out your calendar, when you're setting out your perfect week, that you've allocated time in there to where you're doing absolutely nothing and you're just chilling, relaxing, watching films, playing the PS4, reading, doing whatever it is, right? Just make sure that it is stress-free and it is relaxation promoting, right? So then let's touch on your weekends. So the weekends, we're still going to follow the same approach, right? We're just going to touch on the non-negotiables. But obviously the weekend, you're not going to be working. So again, what times do you want to train, when you're going to do some steps, and when you're going to eat, all those type of things, right? So the weekends, it's pretty much exactly the same formula, except you're not going to be working. Or maybe you are working through the weekends, and then you can just base things based on what your lifestyle is like, essentially. So just to clarify here, let's put in half 8 until 9. Let's just put that as steps. Okay, let's say you want to finish off your steps for today. You can add that in there. So you can add that a wee half-hour walk, 30 minutes. Put that as a different colour. Does not repeat. Custom. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So you can see what I'm getting at here, right? We're not trying to log in literally every single thing within your life, but we're just trying to put in the wee non-negotiable things that need to get done, and then whatever free time you have throughout the rest of the week, then you can start allocating things in there like, things like extras, right? So chores, right? So dog walking, tidying, cleaning, all those type of things, right? So hopefully all that makes sense, right? It might look a wee bit confusing at first, but once you actually start getting used to it, and once you actually start planning out your week, it will make a lot more sense. And for those that are maybe working, that maybe aren't working like set shifts, what I would like to see you do is potentially set a day on any day of the week where you're planning your week, right? So let's say from Sunday 5 till 6 p.m, you're doing your weekly planning. So this is when you'll actually sit down. This is when you'll actually sit down and go through your week and plan out your week. So if you've got quite a broken shift pattern, if you're working at different days throughout the week, or if you're working at the weekends, put in a day that you know you're free, put in a day that you know you've got time, and then mark in everything that needs to be done for that week, right? And then you can do that on a week by week basis, so that you're obviously keeping yourself right and just managing your time the best, right? So have we covered everything here? So we've got working hours, sleep, steps, activity, chill time. So let's say we want to put, this period from after you finish your steps until you go to sleep, this is all chill time, right? This is all chill time. You can just add in whatever you want here. Again, it doesn't need to be super, super in depth, but you can make this as in depth if you want. If you really want to mark down everything you're doing, like let's say you want to have half an hour of reading before you go to bed, put that in, right? Get creative with it. However, if you don't want to put that much emphasis onto it, if you just want to have a basic structure of what it is you need to do and then kind of make up your time elsewhere, then just do it, right? You can make this as in-depth or as detailed as you want it to be, right? The biggest thing with this is we don't want it to be a stress. We just want to have everything laid out for us so that when we do go about our weekly tasks, we pretty much know what we've got to do and we know what times we're doing it at, right? So again, custom, we can do that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So as you can see, that's chill time, right? We've got chill time scheduled for 9:15 to 10:30. So again, that gives us 5 hours a week here, right? So we've got an hour every or Monday to Friday, and then the weekend, obviously, you're going to have a lot more chill time, a lot more time to relax and stuff. So then that's where the extra couple hours of chill time is going to come from. So I'm a really, really big fan of making sure that we are prioritising just time to yourself, because we can't, we're not robots, right? We can't just be stick to a routine every single day, getting our meals in, training, and then not having any time for ourselves, right? It's probably the quickest way that we can achieve burnout, essentially, right? And obviously we don't want that. So I think that pretty much wraps everything up. It's really, really, really straightforward. Once you do this the first time, and once you set it up on your phone, and once you start getting notifications for it as you need to do, you'll find that naturally you start to just, hit your goals better, right? So when it comes to non-negotiables, again, get creative with it. Plan out your perfect week. Obviously have consideration for things like working hours, things like spending time with your loved ones. Again, that's where chill time comes in. Spending time for hobbies. You can get as creative as you want with this. Okay, so this is just a very, very brief outlook into how you can schedule your week, essentially, right? So hopefully all that makes sense. Let me know if you've got any questions on this. If you're struggling with this, let me know, and I'll more than happily go over it with you and have a look at your schedule and see what adjustments you can make. But I'll just put up the notes here so that you've got a good understanding. So to start off with, you're going to start off with the non-negotiables. Working hours, what time you want to train, your steps and general activity, what time you're going to eat, what time you want to go to bed at, and then obviously next up you can add in your hobbies, right? So gaming, reading, chilling, any time that you've got to chill throughout the week, mark it in. And then do the exact same with the weekends. So obviously weekends, generally speaking, are going to be a lot more relaxed for a lot of people, so we don't have as many work hours, and you can sleep in a wee bit later on the weekends. You can train a wee bit earlier on the weekends potentially, and then obviously you've got time for eating and plenty of time for stress management, right? Going for dinner with your partner, all those type of things. And then just extra wee chores in there that you need to do. So like things like food shopping, dog walking, tidying, those are probably all better done at the weekend. Especially if you're really, really busy and you work a 9 to 5 throughout the week. Realistically, we're not going to have enough time to do kind of a lot of these things. So it's just about managing your time the best you can, planning out your perfect week, and then of course lifestyle factors do come in, right? Unforeseen circumstances do happen, so if anything like that does come up, let's say, or you can't train today because something else happened, you can just literally put that over to the next day and reschedule things to make the most sense for you, right? So I'll finish it off here. It's been a pretty long video, but I would really appreciate your guys' feedback on it anyway. Hopefully this has helped. This has been an absolute game changer for me ever since I've implemented something like this. My productivity, my time management, my ability to actually do things better has just been improved tenfold. So I hope this helps you guys as much as it's helped me. And with that being said, any questions, please do ask. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll speak soon.